Good morning. It's cold. I think my phone tells me it's 32 degrees. Probably should have my alpaca hat on because I need to see if that'll keep my head a little warmer. Like I know it makes my skin a little itchy, which you're not supposed to be itchy to, but I'm sensitive to everything, so no surprise. So, alrighty, we are into the new year. I am now 50, and the shop. Let's see, going over what's happening at the shop. Appointments, availability. Not much. We do have a Friday the 13th coming in. Oh, we're supposed to have our shop meeting, I think. I gotta look at the calendar. Oops. It helps to look at that. Yeah, my shop, I have it so that my artists are W-2, commission-based W-2s. So we have shop meetings so that we're trying to get making sure that everybody knows what's happening, because we're not all there on the same day. So we do that. It's like honestly great like that. We have stuff like Zoom that can make that possible. It's really, really great. So I'm slowly making my way up to the coffee house in this freezing weather. But yeah, I probably should have checked my alpaca hat for a day like this, because I'm going to be celebrating my 50th in the UK. So I'll be leaving in a couple of weeks. And we want to make sure we're warm while we're there. Like I already have my wool lamb boots from Bearskin. Then I have wool silk toe socks. And I forget who they're from. I think it's Tabio, but I could be wrong. Because then I forget the other company right now. Brain farting. I'll blame that on turning 50. And like I have I'm going to bring my lighter winter coat, because it's supposedly preparing for rain, trying to get the weather report. And I think it's the 10 days before we get there. It's already predicted to just be nonstop rain. So we got umbrellas to pack. And I think it's like interesting traveling, being hypermobile and hypoglycemic with food sensitivities. So we've been going through restaurants and menus and preparing. Like I'm gonna pack my tea, I'm gonna pack my coffee, my supplements, make sure that I bring a refillable water bottle, I bought these cups that you see in the store for kids for snacks. So I'm going to pack those because I'm going to need those. Definitely leading into toddler mode. Like you have to eat when you have to eat to keep your blood sugar level. And yeah, your pancreas doesn't give a shit if you're touring somewhere, going on a walk, food shopping, like whatever. You need to stop and you need to eat. So these little bins are great. They work out great for that. And they're lightweight. You can get them into the suitcase. I have 2 of them, so I'll probably pack both. And what else do we have to do? Oh yeah, I have to pack all my physical therapy stuff. And then pray that the luggage doesn't get lost. So gotta have your trip cancellation insurance too in place, and make sure that you're putting some of the stuff that can't get lost into the carry-on. I have ankle weights that I usually bring with me, even though they're sandbags. They still get bomb swabbed. So then you have to plan for that. So you're sitting there and they flag your bag and then they take it aside. So, you know, it's like all that fun shit. I also have to pack my braces. My ankle's still cranky. It was very cranky this morning. And I might even wear it through the airport. I've done that on the last several trips when it was cranky. And then, of course, that gets bomb swabbed too. And they actually, you know, they pull you out of line, want you to take it off. And it's like, it's a mobility aid. Like, what? Like, and then they're like, oh, come over here with, you know, without it on. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to sit right here because I don't need to, you know, tweak my ankle because I put the brace on it on purpose. So, yeah, I don't need to ruin my trip because they deem it as dense, you know, so don't need that kind of shit. So it's honestly, it's amazing, like traveling and you're trying to do right by yourself by packing all of your foods so that you don't flare while you're away, your mobility aids so that you know, hopefully don't break yourself, you know, and it's like doing like all these things. And air travel is not sometimes kind, you know, which is horrible. So, all right, I'm gonna pick up after I'm done with my snack. Alrighty, down at the coffee house, and now I'm making my way back home for food prepping and a bunch of other stuff. So I was talking about my travel plans. So before I got here, but now like I'm gonna go back to the shop. Like we basically I was saying like the Friday the 13th is coming up in February, so we're gonna start talking about that and figuring out exactly what we want to do and how to, you know, what we're gonna do. There's several Friday the 13th this year, so that's exciting. And then I'll be gone for a while, because, well, not a while, like a week, because of the celebrating my birthday. And then don't have a convention until Mohegan Sun in April. But we'll have other stuff happening at the shop prior to that. So, it's still cold. It did not, didn't warm up. It's that time of the year, you know, it's winter. I can't expect anything less. So, all right. Oh yeah, I'm also hoping to get my handwritten tax record seminar launched. Had some technical difficulties and stuff, so, and it's been sitting there because I've been busy. So my life, if it wasn't busy, I wouldn't be living. You know, I think everybody has always a lot happening. You know, I'm a tattoo artist, I own the shop, I sit on the board of our trade organization, and all of my stupid, well, not stupid, but all the medical, you know, stuff. Being a female, so there's autoimmune stuff happening, hypermobility, my pancreas needs love. So, you know, so it keeps me busy a lot, super busy. So I'm a weirdly, superly organized individual that started as a child and made sense to me because then it's less time consuming looking for shit if everything is always in its home. definitely comes in handy when your body doesn't cooperate with you. You're filled with brain fog or whatever's happening. When your body is in crisis, being organized is so helpful. And then when you're out of crisis, then you're in recovery. So again, helpful. And then things are so easy when you're just gliding along. But that cycle, being hypermobile, that cycle is continuous and never ending. So I'm impatiently waiting. I ordered my planner through PaperSource because I like the layout. And so my go-to routine for like the last 20 years was to go to Barnes & Noble at the end of the year or at the beginning of the new year to get my planner. And they'd have their sale and I'd get my planner that I wanted. Except for this year. I went and they had 17 and 18 month planners. So I can't hear, dude. Like I got earbuds in. I don't know. Somebody's like calling my name for some reason. Is my book bag open or some shit? I don't know. So I don't know. That was weird. So this year we go to Barnes & Noble and they have 17 and 18 month calendars. I already lived half of last year. I don't need to have that. I've already documented what I've needed to document in the calendar. I don't also need the weight to carry around with me for the last half of the year, so all I needed was this year and I couldn't get it to the size, like you get the monthly ones, there's not enough room to write anything on there. So superly impatient. So as you get, being hypermobile, having all these medical things, documentation is always important. Keeping a calendar, you can track injuries, symptoms, like whatever, so just things that should be documented. So if you're going to go to a doctor's appointment or whatever, you're going to have your documentation. And I like writing it down. I like digitally. Sometimes things didn't save. Like that's also that the shop had a planner at the shop, writing all the appointments in, and decide, we're gonna go digital, and appointments weren't being saved. So that's not helpful to anybody. So I went back to a hard planner. So I like my planners, hard planners, screw the digital. It also helps you retain information better because you're physically writing it down. So I do all these things to keep myself organized and trying to have like that forward momentum. You have things planned, you can figure out, because then I have to have my food schedules and everything. So it makes all that easier. So talking about like your food schedule, food sensitivities. Went to a diner the other day and order meal off the menu that I can have. There's potatoes, so I asked for the swap for the rice. Because potatoes are nightshades. If nobody knows what a nightshade does to people that are autoimmune, so it causes systemic swelling. So you're supposed to like eliminate gluten and your nightshades and stuff like that. So, so I asked for chicken with rice and vegetables. the vegetable options that they have, I can't have, but I could have the salad. So I'm going to have some type of fiber. So that's not a problem. And they served me not chicken. It's at least it was still poultry. They gave me turkey. So it's carved turkey on top of stuffing and slathered in gravy. Now, I never liked stuffing, ever. But gravy also will put flour in it. So there's hidden gluten in there. So I can't have that. And I can't eat the stuffing because that's gluten as well. And so I'm like, yeah, I didn't order this. Like, I ordered the chicken, like the roast chicken. So they take it back and they get rid of the turkey. And I didn't realize, because then I'm like, oh shit, like I made the modification for the potatoes to the rice, but that didn't say anything. So now I'm going to end up with the potatoes. Well, I didn't end up with the potatoes. I thought they were the potatoes. What it was is they just took the turkey off the plate, replated the stuffing, and put the chicken over it. So now I just like paid for food I could, have. So I didn't get my rice. I ended up with the chicken that was really done well, but like you're paying for a meal then that you can eat. And it's like when people have food sensitivities and they're telling you that they can't have the food. Thank God I don't have like an EpiPen allergy, but like what the fuck? Like I can't eat the food because it's going to cause me discomfort. So I don't want it. Like I can tell when I'm swollen. I can feel it. Like, so I find it very difficult to go out and eat. So it was annoying. So, and I think my next video, I'm going to talk about our trade organization. So I've been a member of our trade organization my whole career. I started tattooing back in 1998. And that was, like I already knew about the trade organization before I started tattooing. They had their presence. They had booths at conventions. So I was able to, talk to people, get their trifold, get all the info. And I was like, yes, I need to be a member of this. Like they're, dictating the bar on the industry, on the standards, the best practices or the better practices, and so a couple of years ago, I was asked to, actually for years, I've been asked to be more than just a paying member, and like actually participate. Well, I had a lot of problems, my torso being ripped in half, waking up with kneecaps on the side of my legs, so I had my hypermobility journey of trying to figure out, the diagnosis journey to deal with. So I didn't have time for the trade organization besides just, paying my dues. And I'm still dealing with my hypermobility, but at least I know now what I need to do to manage. So I've been managing it. So I've been now a part of the Alliance of Professional Tattooists in a more involved way. I did 2 terms as the board secretary, and I'm in my term for treasurer right now. And we just had one of our board meetings last night. We have monthly meetings. We meet over Zoom. So it's not like it was in the olden days where you had to fly out and actually physically sit through a meeting. So again, I love this, that this is possible. And there's always so much going on. always. So I think what I'm going to also start doing, because I'm also our state rep here for New Jersey, is I'm going to start making videos explaining what our code is and how it is viewed in the eyes of the state and the inspectors, and then also how the trade organization views it. Like the trade organization, we're not here to dictate legislation or anything like that, but to make sure that it's, sane and enforceable. The trade organization is about self-regulating, and that's a whole other video on its own. I've been doing this for 27 years, been around tattooing for then I think 3 or 4 more years on top of that, going to the conventions and talking to artists and trying to figure out like what tattooing is and how to get involved. And we're at a weird place. So that's also another video. Like I could go on and on and on. So I'll talk to you guys next week.